Let's step away from this conversation a little bit. Maybe we'll talk about the Daily Wire in depth in a
Sure.
different episode. But let's start off with some
Fair enough.
what you need to know. What is going on recently? We'll start off with a not a political or insightful one, but it's kind of crazy that this happened. 70s show. Y'all know where I'm going with this? 70s show.
Oh
Danny
yeah.
Masterson sentenced to 30 years in prison for rape. That's it's actually it's crazy. Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis was retracting a lot of their endorsement of him after kind of getting the conviction. So kind of crazy thing regarding that. You know what I'm saying? He's a scumbag. I can't help him out. The creators of ChatGPT are on a mission to produce the world's first artificial general intelligence while keeping it both open source and safe. So that's very interesting that they think that they plan to do. So we'll see how that kind of turns out. The G27 summit happened recently. Two of the big things that they discussed is obviously the stuff regarding the Ukraine and Russia conflict. And one thing that they did indicate now, apparently that was kind of different from before, is that one quote that was said was that they believe that states slash countries should refrain from the threat or use of force to seek territorial acquisition. So it seems like people are making, or at the very least, some people. I think this. I'm not really. I don't remember which leader, but I think this came from the person who ran it, being India. So it seems like they're now taking a statement, even though Ukraine wasn't invited, and obviously Russia and China, Putin and um, why am I forgetting the Chinese president's name? Um,
G.
G didn't show up, but they had delegates over there. They also talked about a little bit regarding climate change. They said that they plan to pursue and encourage efforts to triple renewable energy capacity globally through existing targets and policies. So that's basically all they talked about. They didn't really talk about anything else that's interesting, unless you guys can think of something. And last thing is apparently Biden's admin strikes deal with Iran to swap prisoners and release $6 billion in frozen Iranian
Did we get
funds.
another WNBA player?
No,
Dang
no,
it.
yeah.
It
They were
wasn't worth
spies
it.
this
It
time.
wasn't
Yeah.
worth it. It wasn't worth it then.
No, it
uh,
was a good trade. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, apparently Iran wants that $6 billion. It's supposed to come from South Korea to Qatar without fear of violating U.S. sanctions, and Biden's administration said no. So, what do y'all think about what's going on? Unless do you guys have other news, of course.
Well, yeah, so I have some other news. Recently protesters broke into I just forgot his name. It's Jonathan, help me out here, Speaker of the House. Kevin McCarthy, right?
Kevin
Kevin
McCarthy?
McCarthy. Yeah, they broke into Kevin McCarthy's office in protest to get him to vote for upholding PEPFAR. It's AIDS research and AIDS assistance in the country to make sure people that have AIDS don't die, and furthermore, to actually prevent it from spreading. There's a lot of skepticism within some conservatives, which is actually split issue. A lot of conservatives do believe that we should do more AIDS research, as was burgeoned in by the Bush administration with their war on AIDS in Africa. However, with some of the new resurgent or insurgent political elements in the Republican Party, we're starting to see some skepticism towards it, even skepticism towards AIDS research in the first place. Which I don't know. I don't know how you guys feel about that. As to the Iran thing, listen, American life is priceless, right? Like it
Okay.
comes, it's like said and done. And obviously, I frown a little bit if we did actually cough up the money, right? But I'm always willing to trade prisoners. I think, like every single time. Even if it's like someone that's like Brittany Griner, who's like an absolute loser, right? Like, it doesn't matter. Like, her life is like worth like a thousand Russians, right? So like 100%, like it doesn't matter. And I applaud the Biden administration for doing the trade. Yeah.
I got no particular insight on this one. Like I said at the beginning, I've been busy. I haven't had a chance to look at the news in a while. Although I will say this. This is like the most current event I did find very interesting was the Burning Man rain thing. I don't know if we already talked about that,
Oh
but
yeah.
I thought it was funny. Um, I just find it kind of ironic that, all of these billionaires and millionaires go out to the desert to, worship a statue of a burning, idol, and then they get flooded out. Like, there's a story in the
Biblical.
Bible
Yeah.
there's a story in the Bible, uh, I hate to belabor, but where Elijah is, contesting against the prophets of Baal to try to start a fire, and Elijah soaks his wood in water and, like, puts it essentially in a pond, his, like, altar, and then the Lord strikes it with lightning and sets it on fire immediately, and the prophets of Baal couldn't do it. And it's just like, "All nature is but art unknown to thee, all chance direction which thou canst not see." I thought that was funny.
Interesting.
I
Um,
oh, go ahead.
well, just to be clear, I think I misspoke. So the trade did get cleared, is what you're saying.
I mean, wait, did it? Like, it's not. I thought that you said it did, or did
I
I thought?
said,
Yeah.
oh, I'm maybe I'm misinterpreting, but when it said strikes deal, I thought they were referring to them saying no to it. But we could, you know what? I'm gonna fact check. I'm gonna fact check. We're fact checking
Strikes
live.
deal.
Go
Uh,
ahead.
Biden administration clears the way for prisoner swap in Iran. Lifts freeze on $6 billion in Iranian funds. 5 Americans in prison in Iran and 5 Iranian nationals detained in the United States will be released. The administration told Congress. It's a
Okay.
W. I mean, look,
There we
it
go.
sucks that
Okay.
we're giving them $6 billion, right? But you know, like like I said earlier, right? It doesn't matter. Like, and I say this to everybody, right? Any American who says otherwise is a thug. Like, I know that I fully expect my government to try to get me the fuck out of a country, even if I like did some really fucked up shit, right? Like that is, pardon the French there, but I really truly believe that our state has an obligation to the citizenry, so much so that there's an unconditional effort so that we are only tried in our justice system and not that of others. I think that's like a foundational principle of being a citizen in this country, something the government promises us. And no matter what, even if the person's like the biggest POS on the planet, right? It doesn't matter to me. Like, it's just like I said, right? American life is without a doubt the most priceless thing within humanity, without a doubt. Yeah.